Welcome to the Mama's Fit YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a 25-minute pelvic floor focused workout where we're going to be doing different activation strategies to help target different portions of the pelvic floor. Hey, my name is Gina. I'm a perinatal fitness trainer and birth doula and mom of four. And in this workout, we're gonna break down different activation strategies that I use for myself and for my clients to help them connect more with their pelvic floor and help them to find more pelvic balance. And so for today's workout, we're gonna need a little bit of equipment. We're gonna need weights for our squats and deadlifts, so a medium to heavy weight for you. We're going to need a mini band for the squats. We're gonna need either a block or a Pilates ball or something soft to squeeze between your thighs for the deadlifts. And that's gonna be part one of today's workout. The next part of the workout, we're gonna need a long band that's attached around knee level, either to your wall or your door frame. If you don't have an attachment point, you can still totally do the workout, and I'll just tell you how to modify instead. And we're gonna need one of those weights that are medium to heavy for you for some B-stand squats and some staggered stance Romanian deadlifts or single leg deadlifts. And then we're gonna finish up the workout with some hip airplanes where you can use a foam roller if it's available to you, but you can also do it without it if this piece of equipment is not accessible. So once you gather your equipment, we're gonna move through 3 rounds of each section together. We're gonna start with our squats and deadlifts, and then we're gonna move on to part 2. And during it, as usual, I'm gonna explain why these exercises in this way are so helpful for you and your pelvic floor. So we're going to start by placing the band around the outside of your knees. And we're gonna keep the band here the whole time, which may feel a little weird at first, but just know that it's gonna make sense. And then we're gonna grab on to our 2 weights, or you can do just one weight, bring them to your shoulders. Inhales to lower down, and then exhales to stand up. And the whole time we're maintaining tension within the band. So while this exercise is not specific to the pelvic floor, like we're not doing Kegels or like a deep squat hold, this is helping to activate the supporting musculature of the pelvis, which helps to support the pelvic floor. And so when we have more of that outer glute activation, this can help to change the pelvic position, which can help to target different portions of the pelvic floor. Go ahead and place that soft object between your thighs. And now we're just gonna squeeze it there. Just keep the band. There should be not that much tension in the band. And we're gonna inhale to push those hips back and then exhale to stand up. Inhale, hips go back. Exhale, stand up. So as I lower, my knees are staying generally stacked over the ankles and my hips are going back. So I don't have super straight legs. There's a bend in them, but I'm not doing a squat. So squats are hips to the floor. Deadlifts and hinges are hips to the wall behind you. But this block squeeze is helping to activate the inner thighs, which connect to your pelvic floor and can help to change the pelvic position so that we can maybe activate in a different way. So go ahead and place your weights down. We're going to place that block down and keep it nearby because we're going to do 2 more rounds. So we're going to bring the weights to the shoulders, or you can just do one weight in front to do our squats. Inhales down, exhales to come up. So go ahead and grab on to your weights. Inhales to lower down, exhale to think lift up in the pelvic floor. We can think inhale into the back and exhale to lift in the front. Almost in this like circular pattern where I think inhale to feel it expand back here, and then exhale to think pull belly button to spine. So inhales are back here, exhales are to the front, and this is gonna help to pull us into a more neutral position with our squats. and with all of our movements. So inhale into your back, and then exhale, full belly to spine. We tend to favor a little bit more extension in the spine and a little bit more external rotation, which can bring a little bit more length to the front part of our pelvic floor, but maybe a little bit more shortening and tightness to the back half. Go ahead and take that block or ball, place it between the thighs, feet are more parallel, squeeze that block, and then we're gonna take inhale, push those hips back, exhale, stand up. Because we tend to favor a more extended spine position, the hamstrings end up finding themselves in a more lengthened position. So you may feel like my hamstrings are really tight, but they're typically actually very long or lengthened. And because they're so lengthened, if you stretch them and they're already lengthened, they feel stretched or they feel tight. And so if we incorporate a lot of hinges and deadlifts, it can help to support more balance within our pelvic floor. And adding in this inner thigh activation can help to support that. Let's put the weights down, remove the block, and we got one more round with these bilateral movements, and then we're gonna move into some single side exercises to support kind of that asymmetrical torque within our pelvis. That's pretty normal. So go ahead and grab onto your weights. Inhale to lower down, exhale to stand up. And same thing, we're taking inhale into the back, exhale to lift in the front. Keep tension in the band as you go up and down. Again, we're trying to target the outer glutes a little bit more with this activation pattern. About 10 seconds, and we're gonna switch to our deadlifts. Go ahead and place the weights down, grab your block or ball, squeeze it between the thighs. Feet are parallel. We're gonna inhale, push those hips back, exhale, extend. Now, I personally find that doing these activation strategies works better for me with like free weights, or if I'm lifting like 60% or less with like a barbell. Once I start getting too heavy, adding in these little activation strategies becomes like, it feels a little off for me. So this is definitely not like I'm going for my 1 rep max strategies, but it can be incorporated in your warm-ups to like your heavier lifting. Let's go ahead and put the weights down, remove the block and the band. And now we're gonna move into part 2 of the workout. So now we're gonna come to our one-sided activation strategy. And we're gonna start with the left leg to emphasize more internal rotation and adduction. So I'm gonna take the long band and place it around the inside of my left leg. If you don't have a band, don't worry about it, just omit it. And then I'm gonna be holding the weight in my right hand, so an opposite hold. So we have this contralateral hold that is going to help to bias more internal rotation on this side. We're gonna start with a B stance squat, so hips are gonna moving up and down, and then we're gonna progress into either a staggered stance RDL or a single leg deadlift. So you can kind of pick whichever one feels better for you. I'm gonna do round number 1 as a staggered stance, and then 2 and 3 with a single leg deadlift. So if you wanna progress with me with the movements, you can as well. So go ahead and hold the weight in your opposite hand. So left leg in the band, right leg holding the weight. And then I'm going to inhale to lower down and then exhale to stand up. And so I'm thinking about an up and down type motion because I'm trying to target my quads and my glutes a little bit more. Now with a band around the inside of my leg, it's emphasizing more of an adduction emphasis because if I relaxed, my knee would move outward. So I'm trying to keep that knee stacked over the ankle the entire time. And then holding the weight in the opposite hand is gonna bias more internal rotation because I have to kind of twist towards this leg to lower down with the weight. I mean, I could do it with the weight more neutral, but it feels better to be able to bring that weight towards the left foot. So we have internal rotation bias with the opposite hand, and we have more adduction bias with the band around the inner thigh. Now keep that same setup, and now the hips are gonna go back. So we're doing that staggered stance, RDL. So hips move back, but the knee stays stacked over the ankle. And so the difference between this one and the first was here, my hips are moving backwards, while the other one, they were moving up and down. And now your left hand can reach up to help you find a little bit more internal rotation at the bottom as well. And so our left leg tends to favor more external rotation. And so we're bringing pelvic balance by emphasizing more internal rotation. So we're kind of helping to bring this hip into the opposite position by strengthening the supporting musculature so that we can better change positions on the left side. And now we're gonna switch to the right side. So stay facing in the same direction. We're gonna take our right leg, put it inside the band, and now that band is around the outside of the right knee, and I'm gonna hold the weight in my right hand again for a right hold. So we're gonna inhale to lower down, exhale to stand up. Just start with that V-stance squat. So here I have the band around the outside of the knee, so I have to emphasize more abduction because the knee wants to cave inwards. And then holding the weight in an ipsilateral pattern or same side hold. In order for me to go down comfortably, I have to kind of open up a little bit more. So it's gonna help to bias more external rotation. And if you figured out the pattern from the left leg, you know that we're doing this because right hip tends to favor more internal rotation. It tends to be our stance leg. So I want to help to strengthen the supporting musculature that's going to help to bring it out of its postural tendency so that I have better balance, I can have better postural control, I have a better ability to change positions. Now we're coming into that staggered stance RDL. So now hips are going back, and then exhale to come up. So now you might be even feeling more on that left side, kind of QL oblique area as well, because we've been holding the weight in that right hand for about 4 minutes now. The left side external obliques and QLs tend to be a little bit more lengthened compared to the right. And so that side is really having to work more than usual to help stabilize in the upper body as well. Go ahead and put that weight down, and we're gonna get ready to switch sides. Now, at any point you don't want to hold the weight anymore because there's just too much in like the left side oblique and back, feel free to do the movements without the weight. And so we're still doing the same setup. Left leg has the band around it. We're gonna inhale to lower down and then exhale to stand up. If you're doing no weight, I want you to reach forward with that right hand so we still have that internal rotation. Exhale to come up. And again, you can still do this with the weight as well. So we're thinking up and down movement with the hips. So I'm almost like trying to bring my hips to the floor. That band is increasing inner thigh activation. And then if you're holding the weight in the opposite hand, we have more of that internal rotation bias, or you can kind of reach forward with the right hand to help emphasize it as well. Now we're gonna move into a single leg deadlift. If you want to do the staggered stance, you can. Weights in that left foot. I'm gonna think reach down and then exhale, stand up. So again, you can do this single leg variation, or you can stick with that foot down and we're just kind of reaching for the foot either with our hand or with the weight. So left leg, a lot of the focus with our one-sided movements is going to be more inner thigh activation and internal rotation to help support pelvic balance, because left hip tends to favor more of an open hip, more external rotation. So it can be a little thing that you add in to your own workouts to still do the same movement on each side, just with slight tweaks. Let's go ahead and switch the right leg now. So I'm gonna place the right leg inside the band. So band is around the outer glute or the outer thigh. And now we're emphasizing more abduction, outer glute activation, and external rotation. So if you're doing it without weight, I'm just gonna reach forward with the right hand. So inhales to lower down, exhales to come up. Most of the weight is in that front foot. And we're thinking hips are coming up and down. So it's almost like our lunge, our squat type motions, as opposed to hips going back. Now, as I lower up and down with the band, I'm not pushing my knee out further. I'm just trying to maintain its position. So if you have a band that isn't taut enough for you, it's probably really easy to push it out. If the band is too strong, it's probably really pulling you in. And so either find a good resistance band for you. This is like, I think, our second thinnest band, or stepping further or closer away can be another option. So now we're coming into those single leg deadlifts. Because I want to emphasize more external rotation, I'm reaching again with that right hand or holding the weight in the right hand. For round number 3, I'm going to grab that weight again. You could have been using it this whole time. So we have more of that outer glute activation, more external rotation bias to help bring more balance to that right hip area. And so I'm doing the same movement on the left and the right with slight tweaks to support pelvic balance. Because we all have normal asymmetry, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it can still be helpful to think about that asymmetry. All right, so let's go into our final round, back to that left side. So place the left leg inside the band. Band is around the inner part of that thigh, and then we're gonna grab the weight with the opposite hand, or you can do a body weight as well. If you don't have a band, just hold on to the weight. So inhales to lower down, exhales to stand up, thinking up and down. I start with like a slight rotation towards my left leg to help bias it just a little bit more. If you want to come all the way up and open and then rotate back, that would be another option as well. You can find whatever little tweaks help you feel a little bit more connected with the movement in your body, which helps to bring the sensation that feels better for you. Because while we're all doing the same movement, it may look a little bit different in each of our bodies. So not as much about the shape, more about the sensation. So now you can either do your stagger stance, RDL, or you can do your single leg deadlifts. If you're holding a weight, it's still in that same right hand. If you're not holding weight, you're just reaching with your right hand towards your left foot. And then of course, if you have a wall nearby, you can put your hand on that as well. You don't have to do it like strictly free. I'm actually like very shocked that I haven't fallen over yet. Just taking all of the focus that I have. Okay, let's switch to the right leg now, and then we're gonna move on to our mobility cool down. So placing that band around the outside of the right knee, we're gonna hold the weight in the same side, or you're just gonna reach forward with the right hand if you're not using a weight. Inhale to lower down, exhale to stand up. I like to start with a little bit more of an open bias at the top, and then just maintain that as I kind of go up and down. But if you want, you can find a little bit more of a twist where you come more neutral at the top. And now you can do this without the band as well. So if you do have a band set up and you're like, I like this variation, but I don't want to set up this band all the time, just holding the weight either on the same side or the opposite side can add that little bit of shift in the movement. Now we're coming into the single leg deadlift or stagger stance, still holding the weight on that right side. So inhales to lower, exhales to come up. And again, if you're near a wall or something, you can kind of put your hand on it for a little bit of balance. I'm actually like, again, very startled that I'm not just falling over. I have been doing the Mama Stay Fit programming, so maybe that's why I have such superb balance. So in our programming, we do incorporate all of this one-sided work because of how helpful it is. Let's go ahead and place that weight down, and now we're gonna finish up with our cool down mobility. So we need that big foam roller to place into your inner thigh or your outer thigh, depending on which leg we're doing. You can do this without the foam roller as well. And so I'm gonna take the foam roller, I'm gonna place it into a wall, and I'm gonna press into it to do more inner thigh activation on the left side. Now, you can also do inner thigh activation on the right side and just explore it within your body. And so you can try inner thigh and outer glute on the left side. You can try inner and outer on the right side. It's all about like what helps you feel like you can move deeper into the release, into the stretch. So with the hip plane, I'm gonna press into that foam roller. I'm gonna find an open hip, and then I'm gonna twist to find a closed hip position. And we're gonna be feeling different types of stretches. So start by rotating towards the wall, feeling more of an inner groin, maybe inner thigh stretch. And then I'm gonna think about twisting my pelvis on top of that femur so that I'm facing away. That leg will probably drop, feeling more of a deep glute stretch here. And then I'm just kind of going back and forth. You may find that one area feels like there's more sensation than the other. For a lot of us, the left kind of hip pocket or posterior pelvic floor on the left side tends to be a little bit tighter. The posterior portion of our pelvic floor in general tends to be a little bit tighter, so you may feel more of a glute stretching sensation. But this is all pelvic mobility, so it's how the pelvis is moving on the femur, which is crucial for pelvic floor function, for our walking, for daily function. Okay, let's go ahead and switch sides. So you can either do right leg pressing into the foam roller, so just flipping around, or you can stay facing in the same direction and press the right knee into the foam roller. So you can explore kind of what feels better for you. For me personally, I find inner thigh feels more stable on both sides. So we're gonna start by opening up the hip, so facing towards the wall, and then twisting to face away from the wall. So deep glute stretch in the twist, more of a groin stretch towards the wall. And then just note, what sensation do you feel in your body? Do you feel a lot of sensation in both the front and the back? Do you feel much more sensation in the back, much more sensation in the front? How does it compare to the left side for you? Are there any points in this rotation that feel more sticky or a little bit harder to achieve? Let's go ahead and place down that foam roller, and that concludes today's pelvic floor focused workout. So we weren't doing any like pelvic floor specific isometric holds or squeezes. We were incorporating how the pelvic floor works with a larger system. And so your pelvic floor is a part of that deep core canister, which aids in pressure management, with stability, with postural control. And so if we think about how we can integrate it into the larger system, we typically can really improve its function to help improve our quality of life. And so incorporate these different activation strategies into your workouts to see if it helps you feel more balanced within your pelvic floor, and then compare how it feels on one side versus the other. A pelvic floor physical therapist is a great resource to you. There's tons of in-person and online resources, but I also think it's super reasonable for you to be able to explore things within your own body and make some decisions for yourself. If you like this workout and you want more pelvic floor focused workouts, check out our prenatal fitness programs, our postpartum return to fitness programs, and our beyond postpartum women's strength programming. And so we've got workouts for you kind of with wherever you are within this perinatal time frame. We have self-paced workouts and video-based workouts like this if you prefer to follow a video. And you can use code YouTube10 to get 10% off any of our online offerings, and our pre and postnatal fitness programs come with lifetime access. So as long as the program exists and you want it, you can still have access to it for this pregnancy and postpartum and future ones. So we've had folks that have moved through them like 3 or 4 times now, which is really exciting, and they only had to pay once for it. So check out all of our fitness programs at our website at mamastayfit.com and use code YouTube10 again to get that 10% off. And if you like this workout and you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We release new workouts every Tuesday and new educational videos every Wednesday.